Honey, have you heard the latest bit of gossip that's been going around? It's been the talk of the apartment complex, and everyone's buzzing about it. You won't believe what I've just heard.
What kind of gossip are you talking about? What have you been listening to now?
Remember last month when the new neighbors moved into the apartment right above ours? The one in 1402? You know, the young woman who moved in with her baby.
Yeah, I remember. So what about them?
Well, it turns out it's just the young wife and her baby living there. The baby's just turned 1, so she's probably still exhausted from running after the little one all day.
Really? What happened to her husband? Where is he? Why isn't he living with them?
Apparently, he's what they call a geese dad. He's been temporarily transferred to a different city for work, so they're living apart for now. It's just a short-term thing, but it still means they're separated.
Oh, I see. That's tough, but what's the big deal?
Well, that's not really the point. The real story is that there's a rumor going around that this young woman is having an affair while her husband is away. Can you believe that?
An affair? But didn't she just get married? I thought they were newlyweds.
Exactly! That's why it was so shocking when I heard it. You know the group of women who always gather on the walking path behind the building, chatting away every morning? They were all talking about it when I passed by on my way back from grocery shopping. It seems like they can't stop gossiping about her.
You've got to be kidding me. You must have too much time on your hands if you're paying attention to nonsense like that. Those women have nothing better to do than make up stories all day. How can you take them seriously?
I know. That's exactly what I thought at first. I didn't believe it either. I mean, come on. They've only been married for less than a year. It just didn't seem possible. But then I heard something else that made me wonder. The lady who lives right next door to them said she's been hearing a man's voice coming from their apartment late at night. She mentioned it a few times. You know how these apartments have thin walls, right? If someone's talking loudly enough, you can hear it through the walls.
It was probably just a male relative visiting for a few days. It could have been her brother or even her cousin staying over. That's not exactly unusual. Or she could just be doing a video call with her actual husband. No reason to jump to conclusions or spread rumors.
Well, maybe. But the neighbor wasn't so sure. She said if it were a family member, would they really visit that often? Especially in the middle of the night? And the strange thing is, the neighbor also mentioned hearing a woman laughing along with the man's voice. Loud enough that it echoed through the walls for hours.
Maybe they're just a really close brother and sister who get along well. But honestly, unless you've seen it with your own eyes, how can you be so sure what's going on inside someone else's home?
I guess you're right. But after hearing all that, I couldn't help but wonder. And the more I think about it, the more it seems like something's off about her. She doesn't exactly give off an innocent vibe, you know?
So what? Are you planning to play detective and get involved if it turns out she really is having an affair? Do you think you're going to be some kind of justice warrior, swooping in to save the day? Don't go around suspecting people without concrete evidence. You'll just end up causing trouble for yourself. Nothing good ever comes from sticking your nose in other people's business.
Who said anything about getting involved? It's just that it feels wrong, you know? A young woman with a baby should be focusing on her family, not sneaking around behind her husband's back. It's the kid I feel sorry for.
If you're so worried about someone else's kid, why don't you check on Chris? He could probably use a little more attention.
What's wrong with just being curious? This rumor is all over our apartment complex, and it's only natural to wonder what's going on.
Even if you're just curious, don't let yourself get too involved. If you start sticking your nose where it doesn't belong and things go wrong, who's going to bail you out? Are you willing to take responsibility for it? You're not exactly someone with nothing to lose, especially with a teenage son. So please, be careful with what you say and do.
Why are you making such a big deal out of this? You always have such a way of twisting my words. You know, sometimes I wish you could just listen without turning everything into an argument. It's really hurtful, you know?
Hurtful? Do you think you're the only one who feels hurt? I'm tired of hearing you repeat the same nonsense over and over. It's exhausting listening to you get worked up over rumors. Instead of worrying about what's happening in someone else's life, maybe you should take a closer look at your own husband and see how tired he is.
You're always the one who's exhausted, right? Everything is always about you. I still remember when I was in labor with Chris, and you were off at a company dinner, not even answering your phone. And after that, have you ever even once held our son before he started walking?
There you go again with the same old complaint. Aren't you tired of bringing that up all the time?
Well, who do you think made me keep bringing it up? Just like you feel resentful for having to be the sole breadwinner, I feel just as resentful by having to raise our child all by myself. I'm not asking you to go back to the way things were when we were newlyweds, but is it too much to ask for you to stop picking a fight with me over every little thing?
Enough. Chris will be home any minute now. He's probably hungry, so why don't you go make him a snack while I step outside for a smoke?
He used to be so sweet before we got married. Why can't there ever be a man who's cold to the world but warm to his wife? I guess I was just completely fooled by his act. It's my fault for falling for his performance. Hello there. I hope you're having a great day. You must be the lovely lady from 1302, right? I think I've seen you around before, and I just wanted to introduce myself properly.
Sorry. Who are you?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I should have been more clear. I'm Sophie, the new neighbor who just recently moved into 1402. The apartment directly above yours. You know, the one everyone's been talking about. Oh, you must be the newlywed everyone's mentioned a few times. How did you even recognize me? I mean, to go out of your way and say hello like this. It's a bit surprising. Well, it's not like we live in completely different buildings or anything like that. We're just one floor apart, so I've seen you around a few times, you know? I thought it'd be nice to finally put a face to the name and say hello in person. I see. That makes sense. I really appreciate that you remembered my face and actually took the time to say hello. It's really thoughtful of you to do that. Honestly, I just moved in and I haven't had the chance to get to know many people here yet. That's why I'm making an extra effort to memorize faces around the building and greet everyone when I can. It's my way of trying to fit in and start building some friendly connections with the neighbors. Oh, wow. Is that right? That's quite impressive. You don't see that much these days. Yeah, I know. It's true that nowadays young people tend to keep to themselves and avoid interacting with their neighbors. But I think it's important to build a sense of community. So I'm trying to change that, at least for myself. More and more people are living isolated lives, but I believe that we can still make an effort to connect with those around us, even if it's just through a simple hello. There are still plenty of young folks like me who value being friendly and social. Well, you sure seem to have a knack for it. But did you come here by yourself? Where's your little one? I didn't see you with a stroller or anything. Oh, my big brother's actually on leave from work and staying at my place for a bit to help out. While I was out doing some grocery shopping, he was kind enough to look after the baby for me. I'm really lucky to have him around. Your brother, you say? I didn't know you had an older brother living with you. That's interesting. Yep, that's right. Why do you seem so surprised? You look like you weren't expecting that. Oh, it's nothing, really. I guess I just wasn't aware of your family situation. You're probably reacting to the rumors, right? I've heard about them too. Apparently, there's been talk that I'm living some kind of double life or something like that. It's really funny when you think about it. Yeah. Well, the ladies in our apartment complex can be a bit much sometimes, especially when it comes to gossip. And to be honest, gossiping like that is just how some of them blow off steam, you know? It's not always meant to be taken seriously. But please, don't take it to heart. I'm just reporting what I've heard, not saying I ever believed it or talked badly about you myself. I know how those things can get blown out of proportion. That's exactly why I made sure to say hello to you with a smile today. I noticed that you're not one of those who gather on the walking trail to gossip, which is really refreshing. So, since we've run into each other like this, I think it's a sign that we were meant to meet and get to know each other better. What do you say we become friends and get along well? I think we'd really hit it off.
Oh my goodness. At my age, you want to befriend a lady like me? You're too kind. I've got a son who's in high school, you know.
Wait, really? I mean, I figured you might have kids, but I never imagined your son would be that old already. That's surprising. You've got the looks of someone who could only have a young child in elementary school at most. I never would have guessed you had a teenager.
Oh, come on. Flattery from a young lady like you? That's something I never expected to hear at my age. You're too much.
Why not? I'm just being honest here. You've really got an amazing youthful glow that anyone would be envious of. And, by the way, I'm a mom too, so I'm not as young as I might seem. But thank you for the compliment. It really means a lot coming from you.
You really don't look like someone who's given birth. You're so slim and fit. It's hard to believe you've been through all that. It's impressive, really. But anyway, thanks for the kind words. You've really lifted my spirits today. It's been a while since I felt this good. It's always nice to hear something positive, especially from someone new.
I'm glad I decided to go grocery shopping at this time. Running into you has been the highlight of my day, and I'm really looking forward to getting to know you better. By the way, are you free right now? How about we grab lunch together? I'd love to chat more if you have the time.
Lunch? You want to have lunch together?
Yeah, why not? Your high school son must be at school, and your husband's probably off at work, right? It seems like the perfect time.
That's true. They're both out for the day, so I do have some free time. I just wasn't expecting this.
Then why don't you invite me over to your place for lunch? What do you say? I think it could be fun.
But didn't you leave your brother at home watching the baby? Shouldn't you be getting back soon? I don't want to keep you.
Oh, don't worry about that. My brother is actually better at looking after the baby than I am. He's got everything under control, so it's okay if I stay out a bit longer. So it's okay if I come over, right? I'd really love to spend some time together.
Well, in that case, sure, come on over. I'd be happy to have you.
Oh, is this a family photo I see? You all look so happy and close, just like a perfect little family should be.
Well, you know, life is full of ups and downs. It's not always sunshine and rainbows. Some days we're as close as can be, but other days it feels like we're at each other's throats. That's just how it goes, I guess.
Do you ever get upset or frustrated with your husband? I mean, does he make you feel like that sometimes?
Of course. What couple doesn't go through rough patches? It's just part of being married. What about you? Are you still head over heels for your husband? Or are there some cracks showing? Maybe it's still that honeymoon phase?
Honestly, that's what I wanted to talk about. Even though we're still technically in that honeymoon period, with him being away so much, I just feel so lonely. It's tough not having him around all the time.
Oh, I can only imagine how much harder that must be, especially since you're still so newly married. There are times when you've been married as long as I have that you might actually be glad to have a little space. But that's probably why your brother visits so often, right?
Yes, exactly. He's really all I have left. Our parents passed away when we were both still minors, so my brother had to take on everything, even walking me down the aisle at my wedding. He sacrificed so much for me, including his own chance at marriage, and I can't help but feel guilty about that sometimes.
It sounds like your brother really loves you a lot. You're lucky to have each other. I'll tell you what. Next time I cook, I'll make some extra food and pack it up for him. You can take it to him, and he'll have something nice and homemade to enjoy. Anytime you miss your parents' cooking, just give me a call. I may not be the best cook, but I promise I'll make it with all the love and care I can.
That's so sweet of you, really. I can't thank you enough for being so kind.
Oh, who could that be? Mom! Chris? What are you doing home? Why aren't you at school? I tried calling you, but you didn't answer, so I just came home. My head hurts so bad, Mom. I think I need to go to the doctor. The teacher said I should go home and rest after that.
Oh my goodness, sweetheart. Are you okay? Wait right here. I'll just change my clothes and bring you.
No, it's okay, Mom. I'd rather just go by myself.
Are you sure? All right then, but make sure you take my card with you. And please, if anything happens, call me right away, okay? I'll make sure I pick up this time.
Sure thing, Mom. But, who's that lady? Are you two friends now? How long have you known each other?
We just met recently, not too long ago. Why do you ask?
Oh, it's nothing. I'll see you later.
Lucy, my dear. Come over with Mike and pick up some vegetable beef soup that I've been simmering all day. It's ready, and I thought you two might like some for dinner. You know, Mike had the day off today, so he should be well rested and able to come with you. That's why I called, to make sure you can come get it while it's still warm. What? Day off? What do you mean, Mom? Mike went to work this morning as usual. He didn't say anything about taking a day off today. Work? No. I'm telling you, that's not right. I saw him today, and he definitely wasn't at work. I was taking a taxi to the pharmacy, and there he was, just casually walking around in his slippers. There's no way he was at the office. What? Are you sure? Mike didn't say anything about taking a day off, and there's no reason he wouldn't mention it to me. Are you sure it was him? Maybe it was just someone who looked like him. Lucy, I'm his mother. Do you really think I wouldn't recognize my own son? It was Mike, all right. And there's something else. He was carrying a child. Who was that little one? What? What are you talking about? Mike taking a day off without telling me, and with a child? That just doesn't make any sense. Are you sure you didn't just mistake someone else for him? Are you saying I'm losing it? That I can't tell my own son from some stranger? Why would I make something like this up? Do you think I enjoy stirring up trouble for no reason? Goodness, talking to you can be so frustrating sometimes. Well, is Mike there with you? Why don't you ask him yourself instead of jumping to conclusions? Well, considering the time of day, it's obvious he's still at work and hasn't come home yet. So, of course, he's not here. Anyway, I'll pack up the soup for you to take when you come. Okay. Thanks, Mom. I'll come by to get it. But this is really strange. What on earth is going on? Mom can be a bit much sometimes, but she's never been one to just make up stories out of the blue. But then again, Mike's never taken a day off without telling me. Something's definitely not adding up here. What is happening? Hey, I just wanted to ask. Did you take a personal day off from work today?
Oh, yeah, I did.
But why didn't you mention anything about it to me earlier?
Well, the thing is, I had to take the day off suddenly because of some urgent work-related matters. I didn't really have a chance to inform you properly.
I see. So, what exactly did you do with your day off? I mean, if you took a day off for work, it must have been important.
What do you think I did? Since I took the day off for work, I had to use the time to handle some work-related tasks. It wasn't a leisurely day off.
But if it was for work, why did you even need to take a personal day? It's unusual to take a day off for something work-related, don't you think? This isn't really making sense to me.
It's actually a legitimate reason. Stop being so inquisitive and questioning everything.
I'm just trying to understand. But what kind of work was it that made you walk around in slippers and carry the baby at the same time?
What are you talking about? Who's shuffling around in slippers while holding a baby?
Your mother mentioned that she saw you heading to the pharmacy like that. She said you were wearing slippers and holding a baby. She told me over the phone while she was asking me to pick up some soup she made for us.
Oh, it's my mother again. I think she might be experiencing some issues with her vision lately. Last time, she claimed she saw me outside, and when I got a call at work, it was completely unbelievable.
So, are you saying that your mother must have misseen things?
Absolutely. You're being quite unreasonable. Can't you see how absurd that sounds? We've been sharing the same bed for 2 decades now.
Your mother spoke with such confidence that I just wanted to verify if there was any truth to it. I didn't really believe it, but you never know. It's always good to check in, just in case.
Just stay here with Chris. I'll go upstairs alone and get the soup.
Why don't we go together? It might be more efficient.
There's nothing heavy to carry, so why make a fuss? It's late, and there's no need to all go up. Just stay here. I'll be back quickly.
All right, then.
Mom.
Yes?
I also saw Dad today.
What?
On my way to the doctor, I saw Dad carrying the baby and wearing slippers. Just like you mentioned.
What? Are you serious? What are you saying? So you're saying that you saw the same thing Grandma did?
Yes. I didn't want to believe it either, but I ended up following him to make sure. I wanted to confirm what I saw.
You followed him? So you confirmed it was really Dad you saw?
Yes, it was definitely him.
Oh no. How could this happen? So why is your dad lying about this? What's the real story behind all of this? Chris, did you only confirm that Dad was the person you saw? Did you notice anything else? Was there more to it?
Yes, there's more.
What else did you see? Please tell me everything you know about what you observed.
This afternoon, the visitor at our house.
The visitor? Are you talking about the new neighbor who moved in upstairs?
Yes, that lady. I saw him going into her apartment.
What? Why would Dad go into her apartment? Are you sure you didn't see something incorrectly?
I even took a photo because I thought you might not believe me. Here, take a look.
Oh my goodness! He's actually going into 1402! This is unbelievable.
Mom, I think Dad might be having an affair with the woman from 1402. It looks like he's involved with her. It seems like he took the day off to look after her baby. I saw him holding a bag of medicine, so it must be that the baby was sick today.
How could this be happening? Is he completely out of his mind? How can he be so irresponsible? What kind of behavior is this from someone who has a grown child? How can he be so shameless and disgraceful? Chris, for now, just pretend you don't know anything about this. I'll handle the situation myself. I'll figure out what needs to be done.
Hey, I've been noticing lately that the side dishes are really lacking. It's always the same boring stuff. Just rice, a bit of salad, some canned beans, and maybe a few pieces of bread. How is anyone supposed to get enough energy to tackle a full day of work with just this kind of basic fare? I think if you're going to work every day, you need a bit more variety and nutrition in your diet to stay healthy and energized.
What exactly are you saying? What's wrong with what we've been having? Isn't it enough to keep us going?
I'm saying that if someone has to get up early and go to work, it's not really ideal to be eating the same basic foods every day. It's hard to stay motivated and energetic with just plain rice, some salad, and a few canned goods. And every time you complain that I've changed. But honestly, it's you who has changed.
I've changed? How do you figure that? I'm just trying to keep up with what needs to be done around here and do my part. If you think I've changed, it's probably because of everything that's been going on lately. Not because I've suddenly become a different person.
If you want to do my part, then you should also be going out and earning money, just like I am. If you want things to be fair, then you need to be bringing in some income as well. Do you even realize how much money I'm earning and putting into this house? You might not fully grasp the extent of my financial contribution and the sacrifices I'm making to keep everything running smoothly. If you can't handle that, then at least you should be taking better care of yourself. It would be great if you put a bit more effort into looking good and maintaining yourself, instead of letting things slide.
What are you talking about? You want me to look more feminine? Do you really think I look like a man to you?
Honestly, a lot of men dream of a marriage where even if they're stressed out at work, coming home means being greeted by a beautiful wife and seeing their kids happily playing.
Oh, so because I've spent years taking care of your mother and dealing with the kid, and haven't had time to focus on myself, you think it's my fault? I've been handling everything. Caring for your mother, managing the household, and raising our child. While you seem to think it's all my fault if I don't have time to pamper myself.
It's not about fault. It's about effort. There are many women who manage to stay attractive and handle household duties. Have you never heard of that?
What are you even saying?
There are women who, even after many years of marriage, still make an effort to look good for their husbands. They wear fitted dresses instead of lounging around in sweatpants, and they get up early to do their makeup and prepare breakfast.
And what's your point? When a woman goes to such lengths, it's usually because the husband is providing something in return. If you were bringing in a significant income, I'd be happy to dress up in a bikini for you while serving breakfast in bed every day. And are you serious? Women who go through all that often end up facing serious health issues. Do you really think living like that is healthy?
Yeah, well, at least they don't have to deal with the constant dissatisfaction of their partner. You, on the other hand, would never be satisfied with anything. So you'll never face any health issues. Look at how you act. Sometimes I feel like a granny lives here. Sometimes I even mistake you for my mother.
And what about you? You've also let yourself go. You're just as much an aging man as I am. You don't have the right to criticize me about my appearance.
Fine, whatever. If you're going to blame me, what's the point? If I had married someone I could actually communicate with, things might have been different.
So now it's my fault that I don't match your ideal? I guess that's just the way it is. It seems like you're not even sorry about how things have turned out.
I'm leaving now.
Complaining about the side dishes while you're the one having an affair. That's a real joke. What is that noise I'm hearing? It seems like it's coming from the emergency exit or some other place around here. It's such a strange sound. It doesn't quite fit in with the usual noises we hear at night. I'm wondering who would be out at this hour talking on the phone. The voice seems oddly familiar, like I've heard it somewhere before, but I just can't place where I might have heard it from. It's really bothering me.
I'm feeling really down tonight because I had a tough conversation with my mother earlier today, and it really got to me. I'm upset and distressed, and I'm trying to find some comfort for myself to deal with these feelings. It seems like I'm the only one who can offer myself the comfort and solace I need right now. I could really use some support.
Who could be out there at this hour? Is it possible that it's Mike?
But even if that's the case, spending the night away from home is still a significant issue. The last time I took a day off, I almost got caught, and I barely managed to avoid it. And now, to make matters worse, my mother saw me and it ended up reaching my wife. What a disaster. I never thought I'd end up in a situation like this. It's completely unexpected.
So, are you really saying that I'm supposed to spend the night alone? Are you serious?
I'll just tell them that I have to extend my work trip and that I'll be gone for about a week or so. Please, just hang in there a little longer.
If that's the case, let's plan a trip together for a week. I miss you a lot, but it feels like I'm only seeing you occasionally because I'm always concerned about how your wife will react. It's becoming incredibly suffocating for me.
All right, I understand what you're saying. But shouldn't you be more cautious in the situation than I am? After all, isn't your husband a lawyer dealing with important legal matters?
Yes, he's a lawyer, but he's not exactly the most handsome or charming one out there. Honestly, I feel like I married him for financial reasons more than anything else. It's really surprising to think that someone's appearance could affect me so much. He even got sent to a less desirable location as a sort of punishment, which was quite amusing to me.
But even so, don't be too harsh. If we're not careful, this could end up being the end of both of us. Especially if I end up being the one who faces the consequences. We won't be able to continue living this way. You know that, right?
I'm being careful. My husband is completely captivated by my charm, That's how I managed to get by.
Mike! Oh, what's going on? Why are you here? Why are you out here? I told you I was going in with Chris.
Is that the woman who was coaxing you to come home? Give me your phone right now.
Quiet down. People are trying to sleep. Let's just go inside the house and discuss this calmly.
What kind of an idiot has that conversation on speakerphone? Why did you hang up? Are you trying to protect that woman so much?
It's not like that.
Maybe we should go and pay her a little visit. If she's waiting for you, you should at least go and show your face. Let's go.
Why are you acting like this? Are you going to make a scene and embarrass us in the neighborhood?
Who's making a scene? If you stop me now, I'll go to see that woman alone tomorrow.
Please don't do this, honey. I realize I've made mistakes, but we need to handle this calmly. I promise I'll explain everything. Let's just go home and talk this out there. Please, let's handle this at home. Otherwise, Chris might find out about everything too.
Do you even understand how embarrassing this is for us in front of our child? Remember when I heard those rumors and came to talk to you about them? You always told me not to worry about other people's issues, right? I should have realized something was wrong back then. I never imagined that you would be the source of those rumors. It's truly unimaginable. I'm so ashamed and disgusted that I can't continue living like this. I want a divorce. Plain and simple.
What? Are you really suggesting that we should throw away decades of our relationship over this issue?
Just this? You've destroyed all the trust between us. And you think it's just this? Then you need to make a choice. Either drag that woman out and reveal her as the other woman in front of the whole apartment complex, or I'll file for divorce.
What? Are you completely out of your mind?
If you don't do that, I will have no choice but to file for divorce.
Oh, come on, honey.
I'll give you until the end of this weekend to think about it and decide what you're going to do. Excuse me, but did you really threaten your husband with divorce? Is that what you did?
I'm trying to understand why you're here, confronting me like this.
Isn't it a bit inappropriate for you to be involved in this matter? I know all about your scheme to team up with my husband and approach me. I'm fully aware of your plan. I'm not exactly thrilled to see your face right now. How dare you show up here with that brazen attitude? Don't you think you're being a bit too bold for your own good? Well, maybe you should have taken better care of your husband. Why are you getting mad at me for something that's your responsibility? It seems like you're trying to blame me for his actions when it's really on you. If you couldn't keep your husband in check, then why are you taking your frustration out on me? It's clear that you're upset, but it's misplaced. You said that your husband wasn't aware of this situation, right? Is that what you claimed? I thought he was supposed to be a lawyer. Don't you know that this is blackmail? My husband believes and follows everything I say without question. So if you're trying to use this as leverage, you should know that I can make this a legal issue if necessary.
It sounds like you're treating your husband like some sort of tool you only pull out when you need him. Do you have any idea how you sound?
Whether I care about that or not, it's my business how I handle my own husband. If I want to use him however I please, that's my prerogative.
It seems like you're quite adept at manipulating men. If you're so good at managing them, why don't you just focus on that? It's clear that you've got a knack for it.
Oh, please. Handling men is an art. Besides, even if I shared my methods with you, I doubt you'd be able to manage your husband effectively. It's evident that you're struggling with self-control.
I'm really grateful that you're speaking so freely right now. It's good to see that the recording device I set up is paying off.
What are you talking about? What recording device? I don't understand what you mean.
Can't you figure it out? It's a small recorder capturing your every word.
Don't you know that this is illegal?
Whether it's legal or not, once your husband hears this, he'll take whatever action is needed. Let's see how he reacts to finding out about your affair.
Oh, that's just disgusting. It's unbelievable that someone with a child would be running around from place to place having affairs with every man she meets. No, wait. This woman is threatening me, and I've only said what I've said because of that threat. You know I'm loyal to you. I'm the kind of woman who only has eyes for her husband.
What are you doing? The recorder was turned off earlier.
Come on! Turn it back on quickly.
If you want to record so badly, why don't you go home and record whatever you want to say to your husband there?
Are you seriously mocking me right now?
This is what happens when men meet women like you. It's quite entertaining to see you all flustered like this.
Hand over the recorder. Give it to me right now.
Why are you so eager? Just wait a little longer, and you'll hear everything through your husband anyway. Oh, and don't think about moving again. I've already completed a thorough background check on you.
What am I going to do? I can't let my life be ruined by someone like this. I need to find a way out of this situation without letting it destroy everything I've worked for.
Honey, please, I'm begging you. Don't do this. I'm on my knees here, pleading with you not to go through with the divorce. Just please reconsider. I know I've messed up, but can't we find a way to fix this without ending everything? I'm ready to do whatever it takes. Just please, don't make me take that final step. I promise I'll work on changing things. So what you're saying is that you're ready to grab that woman by the hair and expose her as the other woman? Is that your plan? I really can't do that. It's not that I still have feelings for her, but it's that I'm worried about how this will affect my image. It sounds bad, but doing something like that would be humiliating for me. I can't bring myself to ruin my own reputation like that. Not even for this situation. If you want to save yourself and protect our family's reputation, there's only one way to do it. You need to make sure that woman is publicly shamed and driven out. There's no other way around this if you want to keep our family's name intact. Please, can't you just let this go? I'm begging you. I'll do anything to make things right. What will you do if I'm not around? How will you support yourself? You've never worked a day in your life, and our son Chris still has to finish college. How do you plan to handle that? My father used to say this is exactly why he always advised against being too open with your spouse. He told me to keep secrets until the end, especially regarding money and such. What are you talking about? Are you saying you've been hiding money from me? You've been deceiving me and taking money that was rightfully mine. I've kept the insurance money from my parents' deaths a secret, trying to hide it from you. And if you and that woman end up in a lawsuit, there's a good chance I'll get a significant amount of alimony. With that money, I can ensure that our son Chris is well set for his future, even getting him settled before he gets married. What? Are you serious? So you've been hiding money from me and using it to your advantage while pretending to be innocent? It's more honest than sneaking around and seeing a girl half your age. This place is in your name, but you know that during the property division, it's going to be split. My contributions to this house are significant, and if you're kicked out, you'll either have to move in with that woman or with your mother. Please, can't we think about our child? You're only seeing this from your own perspective. What about Chris? How is he supposed to cope with this? Chris is well aware of you cheating and has expressed how embarrassed he is. He's so ashamed of having a father who behaves this way. And he's even asked me to get a divorce. What? Don't lie to me. If you want to confirm it, ask him after school. He'll tell you himself. Mike never admitted that Sophie was the other woman. In the end, he ended up being sued for divorce by me. My relentless pursuit and aggressive actions caused quite a stir. My mother-in-law was furious and called me to vent her anger. She blamed me entirely, refusing to hold her son accountable for anything. Instead, she criticized me for being irresponsible. I was so tired of the endless bickering that I just said my final goodbyes, wishing them well as they went on with their lives. It was almost comical how Sophie, who had been clinging desperately to Mike, ended up being publicly shamed. The whole neighborhood saw her getting exposed for what she was. In a surprising twist, Mike's new place,
which was in his name, was immediately put on the market. It was almost like karma. Just as I had filed a lawsuit against the mistress, Mike was also being sued for being a cheating husband. It goes to show that being an adult means taking responsibility for one's actions. Mike and Sophie are living with the consequences of their choices now. I sincerely hope that both of them face the retribution they deserve and that they find some form of redemption. This is where today's story ends. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing and liking the video.